work.
So much said, I'm in too deep. Waters I tread can't catch my breath. A shadow chasing me, a game of hide and seek. Found now have a
All right, welcome everybody. Tonight they're doing something a little bit different, as you guys know, or most of you probably already know. Courtney has been on the show before talking about her deconversion, and tonight we're going a little bit deeper down a rabbit hole because we're talking to Courtney tonight about her brand new podcast.
Those are new. It's all about fish.
Yeah, we're talking about fish. It's all about QAnon, all right? Because Courtney's folks. If you go to her blog site, which I don't know if I linked that, but I do have your YouTube down there and your new one with the Q Dropped podcast is what it's called. And it talks about, I think your first episode when I was listening to you talk a little bit about your family and how things are kind of going sort of downhill. But anyways, I'm going to let you sort of get into this and tell us about why you decided to do this, because I know and you know that it has become a problem, including myself and my own family too, as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, mind you, it was one of my sisters, and she's kind of pulled herself out of that rabbit hole a little bit, but there's still some stuff that kind of clings on. You know how it's kind of hard to drop everything, and then come back to reality sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, so tell us all about this new podcast of yours. And guys, I do have all the links below, so you can check it out for yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, so essentially it was, I guess in the beginning of the pandemic, my parents were isolated. We didn't want to be around them too much because they're in their 70s and my dad has had some health problems before, so we didn't want to up their risk. And of course, prior to that, my mom was into like the online wellness community, like alternative medicine, natural healing, homeopathy
or holistics. Like, what do you?
Both.
Because one's a little bit more legit than the other. So
yeah, she would just read anything about health that she could get her hands on that was not about like seeing doctors and taking medicine. Like she was essentially against modern medicine. And that had gradually started after she retired from teaching. She was bored, I think. And the internet was right there. And so she fell into it. But yeah, it was around the beginning of when the vaccine started rolling out. And that's when my brother and I were trying to schedule them for their vaccines. And they kept making excuses for why they couldn't get vaccinated. And so we finally were like, okay, what's up? What's going on? Why can't like every time we try to schedule you an appointment, there's a reason why you can't. What's going on? And they sent us an email that it's up on my blog.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Neil, I have not read the whole thing. I still have not read the whole thing. It's been 2 years.
I didn't go through the whole thing either.
It like coming from somebody that you love, reading that, it's horrific. And I have not gone through the whole thing. I've like slowly read tidbits here and there to get my story out essentially, but I have not sat through the whole thing. And my brother texted me as soon as we got that email. My brother texted me and he's like, "Oh my God, they're full on QAnon." I remember that was his exact text. And I was like, I don't know what to do about this. And so my brother and I hopped on Zoom and we were talking and stuff. And what ensued was essentially 2 months of us ignoring everything else in our life and just going back and forth with my parents
I
through
remember
email.
this
Yeah.
because you would share lots of it.
Yeah.
You know, you
And
post little things on Twitter, or I was going to say Titter for a second, but Twitter. Yeah, no, come and see my boobs. So anyway, you post little things on Twitter about these episodes you've been having with your folks, you and your brother, and you mentioned him a few times about it. And it's like we're pulling our hair out, kind of thing.
So I think we're skipping a step. Can you explain what is QAnon for someone who is in Japan and has no idea what that could even be? Like, what?
okay.
Hello,
Well,
Japanese people.
sadly, it's happening in Japan too.
Yeah.
It is
Damn.
everywhere,
Everywhere.
but it's essentially it's a conspiracy theory or a it's kind of like an amalgamation of all the conspiracy theories that have ever been proposed. You know, like they have incorporated everything from the JFK assassination to aliens to
landing,
the moon
yeah.
landing. Yeah, like they pulled it all into this worldview and have essentially attached it to Donald J. Trump as their savior. And like just saying this stuff feels
Dirty.
yeah.
I know. I'm
And
gonna have to wash my mouth out with soap after.
and it's
Do you guys not always use soap? Oh,
I brush my teeth with ivory.
right. I got some Dawn up there. I just dunked the toothbrush in there. And I'm just, bleh.
yeah, I do that to my eyes after spending too much time on Twitter usually.
Yes.
Yes, bleach.
Yeah. Just like the barber has all those like different like scissors and combs sitting in that blue liquid.
Yeah.
She got like a little jar next to her laptop. Let's soak those for a few
Welcome
minutes.
forth, sweetie.
Yeah.
Those are a little sizzle.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, back on track, people.
But yeah, QAnon is
Barbasol.
essentially it started in the wake of I can't remember the original date that there was a post on 4chan. It started on 4chan, of course, where every good troll does, because that's all this is. It's just a big troll. and
I went
and
on
they-
4chan once, and I ended up having to go into a body cast for about a week.
4chan is a scary place. And then
I
it
don't
migrated to 8chan. But essentially what it was just these anonymous posts from somebody named Q who claimed to be high up in the American government and had all the inside information. And they believe that there's like this cabal of satanic worshipers and like people who like drink the blood of children and stuff like that to stay young. And of course Hillary is
doesn't?
involved in all of this. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I know.
of course.
Like us
She's the
atheists,
one
we've
serving
been
it
doing
up
that
in
for a long
Dixie
time.
cups, right?
Yeah.
And she's a Christian, by the way. She's not an atheist. So all you baby eating Democrat QAnon believers, she is a Christian, not an
Yeah.
atheist.
Yeah.
She's not one of us.
Yeah. So it's essentially that. And it has captured the attention of a lot of people around the world. I guess it's kind of started in the States, but it's gone everywhere. And and it's like Germany, for instance. Germany has the highest population of QAnon believers outside of the US.
Really?
Yeah, Germany.
I did not know that.
There's a lot of really interesting reasons for that too. And I've interviewed one German, and then I also interviewed somebody who has German family in QAnon who lives in the States. And
It wasn't Renee, was it?
no, no,
Okay.
it wasn't Renee. And it was very interesting. Some of the reasons they give for it is like tied all the way back to World War II and stuff like that. The reasons why Germans are susceptible to this. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. That's the only way you can really explain it. Just a lot of people just believe these crazy conspiracies and have, I guess, like sometimes it sounds like, you know, why is there a problem in your family if they just believe these weird things like the moon landing didn't happen? But it's so much more than that, right? Like they've extended it to like extensive racism, homophobia, transphobia, you know, they're against women's rights, and just like it's all tied to just like nasty stuff that is hard to tolerate.
What if everybody's drunk uncle who believed in conspiracy
Hey, that's
theories
me.
had what
Oh.
if they had a convention on the internet
drunk uncle
every
convention?
day to
Yeah.
out crazy each other? Just
That's
to
what
out,
it is. There you
to
go.
out conspiracy each other. It's like, yeah, that's crazy about the chemtrails, but you know they're making the frogs gay. Like they're just like it's just one thing after the other.
It is like every major news story, they seem to tie it in
Yeah.
into it. And it's like when the Queen died, my first thought as a Canadian, my first thought was how are the QAnoners gonna spin this?
Was the queen Q? I mean, it's right there.
yeah.
Q. Of course she knows Trump. She knows
Yeah.
everybody. She's met like 800 presidents.
800
Yeah.
presidents.
She's got a picture with she's got an oil paint with Jefferson. I saw it.
Yeah.
But thank you, Jonathan, for the super chat.
Yes, thank you, Jonathan. So you and your brother are chatting about this. What's going on in that conversation?
Well, we're just like trying to figure out how to pull them back because you have to understand, like, a lot of people associate QAnon with the right and with evangelical Christians and all of this stuff. My parents were left-wing atheists and highly educated. Like,
Mhm.
both of them have degrees from prestigious Canadian universities. And my mom had she majored in math. Like, she is a logical thinker. She's a smart person, and like I was raised with values that counter everything they believe in now. And so
Well, do you think that maybe the aging part of it might have something to do with it?
I have a theory of what it is. I think the aging is definitely plays a part because my mom has always been obsessed with health, right? And
Yeah.
Sure.
her whole family has. And this, like the natural remedies and all that, gave her a sense of control of her mortality. And like she felt like she could live longer. Like she's told me multiple times she thinks she's going to live to like 120, 130. And she's dead
Wow,
serious.
like Star Trek age.
Yeah.
Well,
But that, I think it's essentially just like control over the things that scare her.
right.
That's what this provides for her.
If you guys ever watched Hoarders, that's usually what the wrap up at the end of it was. Is there's some trauma that they're afraid of, and they're afraid to deal with it. And I can just collect stuff, and then I don't have to deal with it. And then I have to organize my collections, and I don't have to deal with it. Now they live in like a warehouse that's full to the top with cats, and they don't know what happened. They're very confused.
I don't collect anything.
Oh, Neil, careful. The Lego tower is going to crush your legs. Make sure you have an escape path. We talked about this.
Right out the window.
He's got a rope ladder. A Lego rope ladder you throw out the window in case of a fire.
Exactly.
Neil's just building a slide as he's sliding down away from the fire.
What do they call it? Master Bricker or something?
Yeah.
From the Lego movie, a Master Builder or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You've released a bunch of the, I guess, letters that you've gotten from your mom
Mhm.
for people to check out, and which can be found on your blog. And do you ever plan on maybe? I know you haven't done it so far, but you've spoken about it, but you haven't read these things out. Like maybe with the new podcast, you could read some of this stuff out. Like, if you want to, like, do you think you might do something like that?
So our podcast is like the format of it is like we have somebody else on tell their story, and
Sure.
I don't really want to be telling my story on there because I don't want it to be about me.
Okay, fair enough.
I want it to be about the conversation and like highlight it, because so many people out there, they're like, when you post something about QAnon, they're like, why are you worried about this? It's silly, just laugh it off. And it's like, it's
Can't
not
really
like
do that.
it's doing real damage to
Mhm.
real relationships, and I mean it has killed people. So that's kind of the goal here. The other thing that we really don't want to do with the podcast is talk about the theories, talk about the things that they believe in. I don't want to give that any airtime at all. I
That's
don't want to
fair.
give it any attention. Um, it's legitimizing it, and
Mhm.
it's like it's something worth arguing, and it's not. I mean, it's all insane. All of it is insane,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah.
you can't even like. There's no real way to even have like a clear, coherent conversation about those things unless you're just cracking jokes with your friends, right? Like it's insanity, right?
It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
oh, oh, there's the channel right there. Look at that.
oh, that's my husband. He's watching.
Hello, Hubbin.
You've met him, Neil.
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Me, me too. We bowl together.
Bull. John's from what I've seen anyways of his stuff, he's a great musician. So
Hey.
Yes. Yeah, he wrote the song for the podcast. He wrote and performed and
I
recorded and
figured.
everything. Yeah.
Why not put the talent to some use, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy there. What's going on there with the dog, man?
He's upset that I don't know, somebody probably closed their own garage door and he's not having it.
That sounds like my dog.
He's not gonna allow it.
Easy zero.
No, it's okay. He's gonna go live with the neighbors. Let me let him out.
I just the reason I asked that is because I thought it would be like you could do like a special episode like I'm doing tonight and talk about it and sort of let people know that this is why you decided to get into this because it's really affected you.
Yeah. Well,
And,
we're actually going to be telling like little bits and pieces of my story on our Patreon just to
okay.
to get some of it out there and so people understand my motivation. And then down the line we're hoping to have like some panel discussions with some experts. So we're hoping to maybe talk to like Anthony Magnabosco one day and Mick West. I don't know if you've ever read his book Down the Rabbit Hole. Is amazing.
I have it on Audible. I haven't listened to it yet though.
Yeah, I listened to it on Audible. It was awesome. That was the first book that I read after I figured out that my parents were down the rabbit hole. Interestingly enough, though, my brother and I actually we sent them The Social Dilemma. Have you seen that documentary?
I have not.
It's on Netflix and it's absolutely worth the watch. But it's called I think it's Netflix. The Social Dilemma. Oh, cool.
I am
That's us.
subbed.
Thank you.
Or following, rather.
The Social Dilemma is about like how the algorithms work to just keep feeding you stuff that you show a little bit of interest in. It like it essentially is what is radicalizing people, right? You know, they spend 2 minutes on a video from Alex Jones and all of a sudden their whole feed is conspiracies and they're just gradually getting deeper and deeper into this mess, right? So the Social Dilemma is really great at showing like how that works. And after my parents watched that, they emailed me and my brother and they said, okay, we're ready to book our vaccine appointments. And we're like, what? And they're like, yeah, we watched this documentary and now we realize we were wrong and how we've been duped and all of this stuff. And my brother and I were like, what? and
God
so
is
I
real.
went. I went with them to get vaccinated. I saw with my own eyes that they got vaccinated.
Then,
yeah, it was great. Everything was fine. And we had Christmas and we went on to being normal again and all this stuff. But then towards the beginning of this year, my brother, who does a bunch of their investments, logged into their investment accounts and saw that they had drained everything. And he called me and he's like, I don't know what's happening. He's like, what have mom and dad been like lately? Because he lives in Calgary and they live here in the same town as us. And I was like, well, they've been kind of like they won't talk about certain things, and it had already started to like raise red flags for me. I was like, because usually when they stop talking about politics with me, they've always talked politics with me, but when they stop, they're hiding something, right? So
Obviously, yep.
so my brother and I confronted them. They're like, okay, what's going on with this money? What are you doing? And it was clear that it was worse than ever. And they never actually left. They just got the vaccine so that they could be around our kids who at the time were too young to get vaccinated. And we didn't know to what degree they would be in danger, around unvaccinated people for extended periods of time, right? So we were careful about that. And so yeah, they had lied to us about being out of Q, and they duped us.
Boy.
I think they really wanted to stay Q, man, but they really had to get that vax because they were really trying to hang out on Christmas. It's like, man, it's been a long pandemic. I need this Christmas.
So did they just get the one?
No, they both got two. Well, I saw one of my mom's doses and two of my dad's.
Okay.
So that's all I'll believe, because I mean they've lied to us about a lot of stuff. So
I saw the one,
and we have no idea where the money is.
Oh man,
I kind of have a suspicion that they donated it to the convoy.
Really?
Oh
Yeah.
no,
They're on board with that shit, eh?
They're pro Putin, pro Trump. My dad, who got rid of a family heirloom gun when I was a kid because he didn't like having guns in the house, I think has bought a gun as well.
Hence the name of the first episode.
Well, that's actually about Bruce, the first interviewee, Bruce, his son. He realized that his son was stockpiling guns. So yeah,
not stockpiling here in the States. I just have to have enough to defeat the people who are stockpiling. I have to do something to keep them off of my yard.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I've ever really understood the mindset of the pro-gun people. Like, I get that they think that they need it to defend themselves from a tyrannical government. But your government has nukes. Like, what are you gonna do with a little pistol? I don't understand.
They could send one soldier and take your whole block. Just with a guy, and all you have to do is all he needs is a clipboard.
Yep.
They fucking send drones in. They don't need soldiers.
I'm just saying, they wouldn't even have to fight. They would just send a dude in fatigues with a clipboard, and they'd be like, "Hey, how's it going? Oh, I love the troop. Yeah, come on in, have a cup of coffee. You're dead. All they have to do, one thing. You guys are so patriotic and so horny for the American flag. You're like, hey, I just wanted to size some American flags for the inside out. Oh, come right in, bud. Come right in." They're so foolish. They're not very vigilant to be so militant.
Yeah, I don't know if Neil has told you this, but this is happening in Canada now, and people are citing the Second Amendment in Canada, completely unaware that it doesn't apply to Canadians.
Y'all don't have a Second Amendment?
Well, we have our own version of it.
Yeah.
What is the Second Amendment in Canada like? What is it?
Well, it doesn't say anything like you have the right to bear arms or anything. You can own guns in Canada. They can't be automatic. They can't even be semi-automatic. You can own shotguns and handguns and stuff like that. They have to be registered. You have to school for it. It's all kinds of strict laws here in Canada for a gun owner. Unless you are collecting, and by the way, if you do collect World War II era or World War I era guns, they can't be functioning. So they have to be capped and stuff like that. They're for collector purposes only. They can't be used.
And interestingly, I live in an area, you don't, Neil, but I live in an area that has a very, very high gun ownership rate, and that rivals the per capita gun ownership rate of the US. And we never see them. You visit here, we never see the guns. Nobody talks about them. It's for hunting. It's for protecting your livestock from the wolves and the bears and stuff like that. It's not. It's just different. It's a different culture.
I was actually thinking about buying a rocket
maple syrup.
I was actually thinking about buying a rocket launcher because I heard that there is a cougar just got hit like 100 miles north of me. I'm like, they're coming south. It's time to get the tanks.
Hey, probably already been there.
No.
I saw a cougar in my driveway.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you moved from that house, right?
No, I still live there.
No, I would leave. That's the cougar's house now.
Yeah,
He
cougar
ran
owns the
away.
house.
As soon as he saw me, he just ran away. So
Yeah, you were in his house. He was very taken aback.
He's going to get the police. Get her out of my house.
Yeah, this lady is squatting, clearly. Get her out of here.
Well, Courtney, where you live, it's not surprising because there's freaking woods and mountains like right behind you. So
yeah. Sometimes I feel like I would be more comfortable with a gun in my pocket, but I don't have one.
Rocket launcher.
Like there's because I live like right by
Yep.
Giant's Head, and I hike up there with my dog a lot, and in the fall obviously it gets darker earlier, so lately I've been going with John, but sometimes I'll go up by myself.
Speaking of John,
yeah, exactly. The cougars are fine for me, but if there's a spider, we're leaving.
Yeah,
It's done.
torch the place.
Yeah.
Honey,
So
why does it
you
smell
know-
like gasoline in here?
you don't want to meet my little
No.
jumping spider
No.
right there? Yeah, she's cute.
Careful, Neil. She'll burn your house down too.
Her name is Xena Warrior or Xena Spider Princess or something. Like that.
I don't mind the
jumpers.
smaller, and the jumping spiders. We get them around here, but the ones that I hate are the ones in Vancouver, like the big wolf spiders in Vancouver.
Oh, the big hairy house spiders.
Oh god, those
The
were
ones that
terrible.
I
We
lived
don't
in a
get
place
them
once
here.
I swear, we got wolf spiders up there. Just they're outdoors mostly. The house spiders here, like I swear, one time I was living in a house and all of a sudden we heard this noise in the kitchen, and I go in there and there's this fucking spider in the middle of the kitchen. It's huge. I go, I guess he just lifted up the fridge to get out from under it. It's like this thing was a monster, right?
He was emptying the dishwasher.
Yeah.
He said, hey, you don't live here.
We didn't. No. I was the dishwasher.
Oh,
We
this
used
is
to make
before the
jokes
day.
about digging a grave in the backyard to bury them and stuff. They're massive. People don't understand that the spiders in Vancouver are enormous. Like they rival. I
giant
lived in
house spider?
Australia. Our house was infested with huntsman spider, which are the ones that you see in the memes where it's like bigger than the kid's head, and the spiders in Vancouver rival it.
They're actually, Bree, that's not true. There are spiders in Canada that are dangerous to humans. We have black widows, we have mock widows, and we have hobo or brown recluse spiders as well here. So
Yeah,
and we have
get a lot of
scorpions. We have
black
3
widows, too.
species of scorpions here in Canada. So they're all bark scorpion
Scorpions.
species, but that's all right.
Scorpions are scary. When I lived in Mexico, we lived in one condo there was scorpions all the time in there. And I remember one night I was sitting down, I was watching House, and I was lying in the couch with a blanket and I was watching House. I was like binging it. So I was watching like 3 episodes or something like
You're
that.
an idiot, Foreman. You're an idiot, Foreman. You're an idiot, Foreman.
And then I got up and a scorpion like falls out, like a big one fell out of the blanket. I was like,
Oh
the better.
no, not in the
Mm.
blanket you were just
Yeah.
snuggled in.
yeah,
Well, that blanket's in the trash.
yeah. Burn
No
the
saving
apartment
that
down.
one. Yep. Well, this continent's done.
Yeah.
Everybody evacuate. We gotta go.
We moved back to Canada after that.
So
Time for
Air
us to-
wants a scorpion as a pet. If you do get one, get the big black ones, the emperor scorpions, because they're the ones that are pretty docile. You got to
Yeah.
really piss them off for them to sting you.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yes, mock widows. They look like black widows, but they're brownish in color and they don't have the hourglass. But they still carry quite a potent little venom with them.
Yeah.
feel
Yeah, I
like
don't
You'll
know
see
if the
them all over the
ones
place here.
in our apartment were poisonous, but they were scary looking. And there's something about like killing a scorpion that's like it's like killing a crab, right? Like it's like all you can think of is just crunch, right? Like it's just
Yep.
gonna be like a crunch. It's different from stepping on a spider.
When I lived in Israel, we did some military training stuff, and in my boot one morning was an Israeli golden scorpion, and that's one of the most lethal scorpions on the planet. They're
Oh
tiny,
wow.
about yay big, and the really fun thing about them though is if you have a black light, shine a black light on them, they glow.
Cool.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. I obviously they tell you right away, check your shoes because there's all
Yeah.
sorts of little critters that can get in there, like camel spiders, scorpions, whatever. And I always pick up the shoes, and sure enough, one little fucking thing fell out, and I'm like, oh shit! And I ran across it. I was like, holy shit, it's gonna bite me or sting me or whatever. Of course, I was a kid at the time, but
Let me just say this. It's very important that everyone get vaccinated because since I got mine, I can actually see ultraviolet light.
Yeah.
So I could spot those scorpions from mad far away since I've been vaccinated because the superpowers have started to kick in. I haven't met a pickle jar I can't tackle. Again with the ultraviolet thing, but yeah, so far 5 out of 5 stars. No time
I got the
travel
one
yet.
that does laundry for you. So
I
Wait,
hate
what?
my laundry that's upstairs.
yeah,
I know,
I got
I
the
got a
vaccine that
pile
does
here.
laundry for you.
That's the best
Jesus,
one.
why wasn't I told about this one? Damn
It
it!
was the Pfizer.
Yeah.
Pfizer with the 5G upgrade.
Yeah. You got to have an
Pfizer
in
G.
with Bill Gates for the laundry one.
Yep. Yeah, gotta be an Xbox member. Have had Xbox for a year previous to the pandemic.
It's not about dispelling conspiracy theories. We're talking about Courtney's new podcast called Q Dropped Podcast.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. And Courtney has folks on, and they tell their stories about their family members that are members of Q-Anon and whatnot, or other conspiracy type groups.
Yeah, the format is essentially we sit down, we interview somebody who has a loved one in like down the Q rabbit hole, and then we edit it like documentary style. So there's a lot of narrating from me, and then we interject with quotes from them and stuff like that, and then just to tell a more cohesive narrative of the whole thing. And that's it's essentially just because I want it to be about, I've told my story, I've written it on my blog and stuff like that, and I just want this to be about everybody else. I want people to understand that this is affecting people from like every walk of life. Like I said, my parents were never religious. They raised me atheist, you know this, and they extremely left wing. Like they raised me with left-wing values, progressive values, every day of my life, hammering it into my head, right? My dad even he lived the lifestyle as well. Like he was a counselor for sex workers, and he was a counselor for people who were struggling with addiction. He was a counselor for post-release offenders, and like he devoted his life to the little guy, right? And so he displayed he set the example for me and my brother, and this is how we were raised. And now he's siding with Trump, like,
Of all people.
I was at NDP rallies when I was 6 years old playing in Mike Harcourt's pool. Like I was raised left wing with progressive values, and there was never any doubt there. Like there was never, it was who we were to our core. And it's bizarre. And now I've talked to the first interviewee, which is up and live already, was Bruce. And Bruce is, people think that it happens to just old people. It doesn't. Bruce is the same age as my parents, and he has a son who's in it and has joined a militia and is collecting weapons. And then our second one is a 23-year-old man who is getting ready to cut his parents out of his life for good. Like he's even doing like legal paperwork and stuff like that to completely cut them out. and then the rest are just. We have one who we talked to who his parents up and sold the family home without telling anybody and moved to Costa Rica from Germany, without telling anyone. And this was a tight knit family, and they just left. And people ask, they're like, "Why do you have such a problem with your QAnon family?" Who wouldn't have a problem with that? Like,
Yeah, no kidding.
They
like you go to your
disappeared one
parents' house.
night.
They disappeared. They midnight moved to Costa Rica. Like,
What?
Like
Holy
they already
cow.
owned this house. They weren't even ducking like an eviction. They just left.
they sold it, they took the money, and they left, despite the fact that they had always been an extremely tight-knit family and had promised over and over again that the home was going to belong to their kids after they move out and go into like a home or something like that. And it's just they just sold it and they left. And they did similar things to what my parents did, drain their bank accounts and
Yeah. So is there like a common thread that red flag wise that I mean aside from I have a QAnon shirt like but were there like red flags of stuff that people were doing that kind of tipped off people like this is different than just kind of like really thinking about an idea?
the common thread, there are a few common threads. One of them is so there's two ways so far that I've encountered that people get radicalized through this. Obviously, social media plays a big part, but there's two
Oh yeah.
communities that they get sucked into it through. One is the online wellness community, and the other one is evangelical Christianity. And so if you have a family member who is like, swearing by colloidal silver and
Oh my god.
yeah, like telling you that essential oils are going to cure
I
all
lick
your
my rings all the
illnesses.
time.
Yeah. Do not ingest colloidal silver. You will turn blue eventually.
Yep. Yep.
But
That'd be kind of
and
cool.
and you think it's funny. Look up what's his name?
Oh,
Paul
I've seen pictures.
Carasson.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, he was one of them that I saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Paul Carasson. Look up pictures. He is
He
blue.
looks like fucking Dr. Manhattan from the fucking Watchmen.
His nickname was Papa Smurf. But yeah, if you have family members who
What the-
are yeah.
Right? He found it.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's from colloidal silver.
Oh my god.
Yep.
This is an episode of Oprah I found with Dr. Oz on it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's your first mistake.
Yeah, unfortunately they went on to push that stuff after that. But they
Oh, he's such a quack.
There's no
Yeah.
audio. He
He's
is
blue.
blue.
he is absolutely blue.
He looks like that kid from well, not a kid with a beard, but from what do you call
Willy
it?
Wonka?
Yeah, they had
Baruka.
Veruca salt. Yeah, they had to squeeze her, you get all the juice out of her.
Is that
Yeah.
the right one? Let me see.
Was it Veruca salt? I think it was Veruca salt.
Blueberry Girl Willy Wonka.
But yeah, if you have family members who are into that stuff,
Oh god damn it. Her name's Violet. Violet Beauregard. We're bad.
Violet Beauregard. Yeah.
I want it
Veruca salt was
now.
a different one.
Yeah,
we would
I
have
want it
lost
now.
trivia.
We would have been laughed out of the pub, is what would have happened.
Yes, we would have.
Nobody
Yeah,
told
Veruca
anybody.
salt was the rich one, right? That wanted everything.
I want a
Yes.
new Oompa now.
Your accent is awesome.
Can it, you twit? I love that. I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, the original though.
Yeah, sorry, Johnny Depp. That thing was fucking weird.
It was mediocre.
The stuff of nightmares.
It made me uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable. His
Cringe
teeth.
ass movie. Yeah.
His teeth
yeah,
were
yeah.
too big.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
No, it's
And I don't like it when non-human things have human teeth. When they put like human teeth on like a dog for like a dog dentist stick.
oh yeah,
like
that's
they. Oh no! Don't do that. No, that's
There's
wrong.
something about teeth, in the wrong place that's just really off-putting.
Oh, don't even start with because now people are going to pull up the movie
Yeah.
Teeth.
No,
No.
no.
Don't do that. Don't do
No,
that.
Yeah, if you want to join the movie club for Neil and
Everyone's
Mikey,
doing it right now. What's he
everyone's
talking-
homework, go watch the movie Teeth.
No, don't do it. I made it to like the first scene. I was like, nope.
Nope.
Click.
Big negative Ghost Rider.
Nope.
No, I'm good. Just try to not think about it, Neil. Like
I
especially
know,
like the
I'm-
movie trailer. Just try not to think about it.
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway. So do you have hope for your folks? Like, do you think that they can be pulled back from this or what?
No.
No.
And that's like the
Oh.
number one thing that like everybody has shared with me so far. We've interviewed, I think it's 8 people, and every single one of them, well, except for one, but one was XQ, and that's a whole other story. But every single one of them that has family in QAnon has said that it's absolutely futile. And I think that the key to, I know that some people have come back from QAnon. So I know it's possible, but I don't think it's possible with my parents just because the age that they are and the fact that my dad, who was always the critical thinker in the family, right? Like my mom was always a little bit gullible. Sorry, mom. She my dad was always the like, oh, that's horseshit, always.
Right.
And he's had a series of strokes, and then he had a brain bleed, and he's been diagnosed with early dementia. So he's not thinking the way that he used to, and he's not doing the critical thinking anymore. And he's down that rabbit hole just as bad as my mom now, if not worse.
boy.
And so I don't think there's any coming back from this for them. And then there's lots of all the other people that I've interviewed are like, it's futile. We all recognize that some people have come back from it, but I think that it's not really fully possible to come back from it without residual ideas in your head. We interviewed an ex-QAnon believer, and it was a challenging conversation. This guy was so obsessed with just wanting to talk about the theories. And I told you in the beginning, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to give them any legs. I don't want to give them any airtime. I'm not interested. They're horseshit. They're nonsense, and they deserve no attention whatsoever. And I tried to explain to him what our podcast was about. This is about how it's affected your relationships. And he just wanted to talk about the theories. He kept sending me like videos and links and articles to read and pictures of himself at QAnon rallies and all of this stuff. And then he's been texting me ever since. It's been like two weeks or something like that since I talked to him, or 3 weeks. And he keeps texting me like, did you check out that video of Bannon talking about blah, blah, blah? And it's just like, no, I'm not, dude, I'm not going to watch this stuff. I'm not. You're not going to radicalize me. I feel like he still was attached to these ideas, and he was struggling with letting them go because that's all he wanted to talk about. And it was really bizarre. It was a bizarre conversation. Let me tell you the craziest thing that he said to me. I asked him during all of his time in Q, because he was talking about how when he was deep in it, his social life suffered, his work life suffered, everything suffered because he was just obsessed. It was 24/7. And
can't turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm like, so what was your love life like? Like, did you go out on any dates at all or whatever? And he's like, I wasn't even interested. He said, I considered myself Trump sexual. He said that the only person on the planet who he found attractive was Trump. And this was a heterosexual man that we were talking to.
That's fun.
And I was like,
um,
try
but I mean-
talking to that person and keeping a straight face. Like when he says that, I'm just like, dude, this is. Can you hear yourself? Like, do you not
Right.
hear what you're saying?
Trump sexual. Hashtag Trump sexual.
Never thought I'd
That's-
have to say I'd never
I mean-
wanted to hear those words together again.
I'm very sorry.
I'm a
Usually
heterosexual
harassment.
man myself, and there are men out there that I think are attractive, but I
Yep.
wouldn't look at Trump and be like, "Oh, baby," like what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's
there's
more like
nothing wrong with
"Blah."
a
you
man
feel-
being attracted to a man, but that like only being attracted to Trump, that's weird. I don't even think Melania is attracted to Trump.
No,
Clear-
I don't think so either.
Clearly not. He'd be trying to
Somebody
hold her
banned-
hand and shit, and she'd be like, "Oh no, it is not Wednesday. You do not get handholds today."
He loves them
Fuck outta
cottage
here.
cheese cheeks. Okay, somebody please ban that fucking
On it.
Tinder.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tender Hot XYZ, best adult dating site. Boys, girls, boy, girls, girls, boys, heart, check face, heart, black
Is that
heart.
an ad read?
I
That's
guess. It's a
for the
bot.
porn
It's a
bots.
bot.
It's the form.
Does QAnon fit the bite model? Because it just
Oh,
sounds
hell,
like
yeah.
a cult.
It absolutely does, dude.
What's the bite for people who smoke weed and can't remember what bite stands for?
Behavioral information, thought, and emotion control.
Hmm.
And yeah, QAnon could fit in that quite easily.
Yeah. The guy that I talked to who was ex QAnon said he insisted that it was not a cult and that it was instead a mental illness. And I think like one of the things that I've learned in talking to a lot of people is that different people get different things out of it. It's different for everybody. And they like a lot of them have similar motivations and like similar routes to the radicalization and stuff like that. But everybody's story is unique and everybody is getting something different out of it. I think with my parents, it was, well, with my mom in particular, jumping into the wellness community and getting like into all the alternative medicine and stuff like that. She was bored and she
Right.
like my brother and I had moved out and she was always doting on us, right? Like constantly to a point where we were like, okay, back off, like, and she,
Got
when
it,
we moved
Mom.
out, she had nothing to do and she feels lonely, I think. And I feel sad that she does, but at the same time, I have a job, I have kids, I have a dog, I have a house to clean. I can't be entertaining my parents all the time, and my brother certainly can't either. He's got a toddler. So I think she was just genuinely like lonely and she didn't have enough to do. She didn't fill her time. Like that's how she filled her time in retirement was
Yeah.
surfing the internet, looking up remedies, filling her body with weird substances and giving herself chemical burns.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What?
Now, if you haven't tried raspberry preserves
As a facial?
in your eyes,
That's a
you are
facial.
really just missing out.
Raspberry jam. I've been
It
jammed.
It burns at first,
I-
but you get used to it. You get.
I
you
would
build
recommend
calluses.
raspberry preserves on ice cream instead.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It's good for the soul. Well,
What?
soul.
When I
It's-
eat ice
it's
cream,
good.
I almost feel like I have a soul. I
Yeah.
swear I could almost just have that first spoon off of a freshly smooth like ice cream tub, that first dip. I
Yeah.
can almost taste the soul in it.
Yeah.
This episode brought to you by our friend at Pryor's. Pryor's ice cream.
And Haagen-Dazs and Ben and
Ben and
Jerry's.
Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's.
Oh man, the one that what's the one with the fudge brownie and the cookie dough? What do they call it? Half baked.
Oh, the Cheech and Chong one?
Yeah. They have such
Oh,
good names.
man.
It's a clever company.
Oh, for crying out loud, Cafe. You'd do anything to push DMT, won't you? Hi, Cafe. Nice to see you.
Mark that on your bingo cards, everybody.
Yeah. Chong bongs. Yeah, I got some really good stuff just recently. I couldn't fit it all in my little jar, but yeah, it's good stuff. I can't remember what it's called now. Probably from the weed.
I was about to say that's how you know it's good. You can't tell nobody else what it is. You'd be like,
yeah, totally good. No, I haven't touched any yet today because I have a meeting that I have to go to. Oh, that reminds me, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show. I didn't schedule an after party because I have a meeting I got to go to just before 7. So I have to meet up with a couple of friends to talk about a surprise party for someone else. So I have to go to that.
wow, you guys are starting the preparations for my birthday early this year. I like it.
Fuck, now you know.
You guys are so early. I'll forget. It's
off. Forget it.
Usually by about 4 days before my birthday, I'm like, fuck. Old. Fuck.
So I just had my birthday actually. So
yeah, you're old now.
On the 20th. 56.
Happy
now.
beleted.
What the hell, man? Oh,
you do not look 56.
Oh, see, Courtney's my new best friend. Fuck you, Mikey.
I was gonna say 86, which is down from 106, from which is what I was gonna say. I was knocking off 20 years because the friend discount, but
friend discount.
I got all kinds of cool shit. I got big chunks of fudge, and I got these little guys here.
Your shirt says
little
Android. Aww.
I got 5 of them. He's the one with the silver ball. Yeah, he's so cute.
Oh.
And
do you have these?
Farron out there in the chat got me a Lego set off my wish list.
Is it these?
Oh, I love it.
It might be. Yeah, but they came. Well, similar idea. They didn't come in a box though.
Oh, okay. Because this came in a set. Like there was a bunch of different poses.
Yeah.
Like he's got. Like my wife has one that he's got like the blue milk, and he's doing one of these.
Really?
Yeah. He's just.
Aww.
I like the sad face one.
I gotta watch that show again.
You know what? You're not wrong. We should
I
all
love
watch
that.
it again. That's everyone's homework for this evening. Go restart watching The Mandalorian. You deserve it.
It was so good.
It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
Which apparently is a very American way of saying you enjoyed a movie.
No, John, I'm not 66. 56.
No, you're right, John.
I ordered another one of those I'm not like most teens, I'm in my 50s t-shirts, except I must have hit the wrong button because it came and said, I'm not like most teens, I'm in my 70s. I'm like, wait, that's a little early for that one. But I gave that one to my mom and she loves it. Now she's worn it for like 5 days in a row. She's just wearing it around the old folks' home.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is the way. Yeah, because my sister took a picture of it and it's fucking funny.
Who put that comment up there? That is rude.
Here. No, that's not it. There it is. So there's my mom with the t-shirt on there. I'm not like most teens. I'm in my 70s.
Oh, that's
She's
so cute.
She's adorable.
Yeah, it's just so funny. She loved it. She said she's strutting around the home with it, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a cute shirt."
That's
All
cool.
right.
My son is the birthday boy. He bought it for me.
Yes, John, 66 would be the year I was born. That is correct. 1966, before cars.
I was 77, 11 years after you.
I was 88.
Shut up. No, you weren't.
I'm 35.
What?
It was 87. I just hope no one would check my math. I wanted it to be like 66, 77, 88. That would be cool. But
yeah, it would have been like divine intervention.
Now my pineal gland will never open. I'll never get my my crown chakra going. Oh, there we go.
My Neil gland opened. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, the pineal gland. See?
The pineal, yes. Except you don't spell my name with a P or a K either, by the way.
It's like pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
or pterodactyl.
Oh, Paharmaki.
Paharmaki sounds crazy. We call them chymists.
Pharmacy?
Chimus.
Hey!
That's what they call them over there. They don't call them a pharmacist because they're strange.
Bihikemist? I don't know. Yeah. I went to get a refill of my Eliquis today, and apparently my doctor didn't get the fax through to them to refill it, so they're going to give me an emergency supply tomorrow, and then Ganeal. Then I guess I'll have to call her pineal, put the pineal gland.
Yeah. Do you not know about your pineal gland?
The pineal gland.
Pineal.
Yeah, no, I don't have kids that I'm aware of. So,
I mean, if your name was
I know.
spelled Neal, we would be in there for like a whole branding opportunity of you selling pineal gland like lotion. I don't know, solvents.
I saw your merch launch, by the way, Mikey.
Yeah, go get yourself some shirts
Oh, I'll get a shirt for sure.
or a
They're
water.
like fucking like in Canadian. They're like $50 or something Canadian.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I'll lower it down because I was like, let me just get it out.
Oh, you can change the price. Okay, very good.
Yeah, I can drop it down.
Just type in there for this one guy. He gets one for $10.
I think they'll only let me go like to the point where they're not making any money, and then there's like, all right, guy, what do you want to do? Like, at
Courtney,
this
I bought
point, I'm not
another.
making nothing.
I bought another Carl Sagan shirt because the
Oh,
one
yeah?
I bought originally, it was too small for me after a couple of washes, right? Because I guess I'm no longer just an extra large. Now I got to throw the extra X on there. so I had to get an XXL large. So yeah,
Oh, cool.
but I did that. Yeah. Oh, you like the shirt, by the way? The androids instead
Yeah,
of
that's
Android.
cool.
Altoids?
I hate it when my
And,
shirts shrink. You know what I mean?
Stupid
Yeah.
shrinking shirt.
Yep.
What's
Yeah.
I'm
They're
curious
that
about this
smaller.
person's name here. Yeah, when the damn pharmacy is brought up. Whoops. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, what is TP? Like toilet paper? Are you searching for toilet paper? It's just kind of a
Yes.
throwback to the
Throwback to
hoarding?
2020. Yeah.
yeah, the hoarding thing that went on there.
That was so stupid.
Wasn't it?
God, so stupid. Like, what are you gonna do with all? There's still people, I guarantee, that still have toilet paper from back then.
No, yeah, you go toilet paper at your neighbors' houses.
That was honestly one of the best examples of why we need critical thinking taught in
Mhm.
schools.
Like, those people were
Indeed.
buying like 48 months worth of toilet paper. They still have toilet paper.
Yeah,
from
they
back
still have it.
then. You go through like 3 rolls a week, which is a lot. You still got like 150 weeks left.
Also, what's wrong with your digestive system that's the first thing you panic about in an emergency? It's like, I gotta get my TP.
I heard COVID gives you diarrhea. I'm thinking with my head.
Apparently. All right, well, that's about it for the show, guys. I think is there anything else you wanted to make mention of, Courtney, before we pull the plug on this?
No, just check out the podcast. And I was on the CBC radio talking about the podcast on Tuesday. So you can go check that out. If you go to the Q dropped page on porthosmedia.net. So it's porthosmedia.net/Q dropped.
Links below.
Yes, and it is named after Captain Archer's dog on Star Trek, by the way.
Nice.
But yeah, you go there, you can see the link to the CBC radio bit that I did on Tuesday, and then you can also find the episodes there. Well, thank you.
You're the bomb, Courtney.
Thank you.
And what was it you were gonna next time I'm up there? You're making cinnamon buns or something, right? Wasn't that it?
Yeah, I'll make you cinnamon buns. I'll make an
Yay.
exception. I make really good cinnamon buns because I use Joshua Wiseman's recipe.
Oh,
deadly.
really?
They're
Oh, wow,
deadly.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
First of all, not so fast. Neil is the head of this household, and I won't have you poisoning him. So I will eat them first to ensure safety and quality.
Okay.
Pretty
Okay.
Sure.
And when I'm done with the first batch, fire up a second one.
All
And
right.
then
All
we'll
right.
give those to Neil.
All right.
Then
It's a
I'll-
double batcher.
Dave, who lives around the corner here, he wants to come too.
It's Summerland. 200 wineries in the area.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'll have to drag you up with me one time.
Yeah, come
You can
visit.
meet this amazing lady. Right
Dave
here.
was over there minding his own business, clickety clack, just typing a cinnamon buns.
Oh,
Harris
my
says I
son
don't
loves
like
them.
cinnamon. Oh, that's
Actually,
too
I'm making my son pumpkin spice cookies.
bad. Oh.
What's
Probably
the
tomorrow.
best? What's the best thing to go with a cinnamon bun, like pairing wise?
Sleep afterwards.
Diabetic coma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regret. Deep regret.
Like a black cup of coffee. Like some cool milk.
I
Follow your
would
nose,
go,
Dave.
yeah, maybe a latte.
Yeah, I like a nice cinnamon bun with a cup of coffee for sure.
Little
Yeah.
cappuccino action.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. No, Trusty 8 podcast. There will be no cinnamon challenge. Hell
Yeah,
no.
no
And no
cinnamon
one
challenges.
do the cinnamon challenge. You do not need to breathe in cinnamon.
No.
Your lungs are not built for cinnamon.
You
We're
can
critical
die.
thinkers around here.
Don't
you're
do
gonna
it.
be you're gonna be in critical care if you do that.
I tried to do, what is it, like three saltine crackers in a minute. They say it's impossible. I'm like, fucking
Really?
bullshit. It's impossible. It is impossible.
I
It is
can
what-
You mean,
believe that.
That's like the premium plus type, right? Like the
Yeah, just the little square
Yeah.
with a little dash of salt on there. Nothing to them. Man, after 3 bites, your whole mouth is Elmer's glue. And you're like, I'm going to lose. I'm gonna lose. I'm halfway with the time, and I've eaten one. This is it's impossible. If someone can do it, record it.
I've
send
eaten
it in.
4 at once.
In under a minute, though.
Oh, I don't remember if it was under.
Yeah.
I'll have to take that challenge.
Do it. You should do it for your TikTok.
Yeah.
They got a 1 minute. They got a 1 minute.
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I have a
1
TikTok.
minute. Yeah, they got a 1 minute.
Oh
thing.
yeah, I have a
There's your-
TikTok.
Oh, Neil. But there you go. If you guys can do it, send it to me on TikTok. There's no way you can do it.
Well, my first TikTok went fucking semi-viral because of people like
here it is.
Baphomet and stuff like that. No, that didn't do that, you noob.
Yeah, you did. You were just like looking down at the camera.
Because I'm in my head, I'm like, is it recording?
The boomer angle.
Yeah. I was like, hi TikTok. Anyway, on the show tonight, I have blah blah blah. And Chico keeps fucking laughing his ass off, and he keeps reposting it over and over again because he thinks it's one of the funniest fucking things he's ever seen. Right?
What an asshole he is. You said it's on your
No,
TikTok?
he's hilarious. Oh, he's funny. Chico's a good guy. All right. Thanks everyone in the chat for hanging out. Sorry it wasn't my usual. Well, I'm not sorry, but I think
Yes,
tonight's
you are. You're
topic-
Canadian.
Fair enough. Definitely had to promote Courtney's new podcast because she talks about some stuff that is, has the potential to be pretty harmful. So I think it's a good idea to put that out there and hear some folks' stories about their families that they've had to deal with, and of course all the stuff that Courtney's had to deal with her family is also available there on her blog. And I think you mentioned a couple things in some of the stuff, so that you had to you were involved with some of the shit with your folks. And anyway, but yeah, Courtney, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
thank you
think,
for having me.
Oh, anytime, man, anytime. As I said earlier, at least I'm not going to be able to do because I have to go to a meeting. So if Mikey decides he wants to throw a little after party bash, then you can hit him up. I don't know what he's going to do, but he might just do that. But thank you all for hanging out, and thanks to my wonderful patrons. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, so I appreciate everything you guys do for the show. And also, Mikey, great job, my friend, as usual.
I'm going back to sleep. I don't know, guys. I've slept an hour and a half in the last 2 days because that damn Waukesha trial had my spirit all troubled, and I had to see what happened to him. Now my sleep schedule's all fucked.
Well, yeah.
6 life terms in 859 years is what he deserves.
Yeah, no kidding.
Get some.
All right. Yeah, no kidding. All right, that's it, folks. And until next time, like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith, even though it doesn't really fit tonight's topic, but it's called faith. They call what the hell is it? It's called faith because it's not knowledge.
Why don't you use Sagan's is probably more appropriate today.
You know what? You're right. And I do have a Sagan shirt. So extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Thank you, Carl Sagan. I'm actually listening to his book, Comet, right now. So
that's a good book.
Carl Sagan with a kick save.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. It should be the Saturday with 20 Dragon. So we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hang on. I got to do this right. Here we go.
And then coins at the end.
Insert outro.